Alright, hello. Remington Steele, the Man of Steel. Uh, we're going to do a decode on, well, this is kind of like Pierce Brosnan and Superman and all this St. Patrick's stuff. We're going to go through it all now. What I left, where's my last? Let's just go to this a minute. So my last video, this one, I Pet Goat 2 George Harrison decode plus Green Day bonus. Right, well at the end of this video I was talking about St. Patrick's Day, and I had this weird personal synchronicity with the day, and so anyway, down in the comments I forgot to add some stuff in, but down in the comments right after I did the video I put this comment, and I just put would be interesting if there were a Pierce Brosnan reference, because his age in days was matching up a little bit with tank gematria. Okay, and we've got this big day for Madonna coming up on the 31st of March, which is to do with the tank scene in GoldenEye. Okay, and it's to do with train spotting, and it's to do with a whole bunch of stuff. But that's our first date for Madonna coming up, which is the 31st of March, and then we're going to be looking at the 4th of April for Madonna as well. And then, of course, we've got this tie-in with the 4th of April with the Hoover Dam, and the 9th of April with the Hoover Dam as well. And all these dates are kind of interchangeable a little bit for the Hoover Dam or Madonna. Anyway, so I was on the lookout for a reference to Pierce Brosnan today, some kind of reference. Anyway, we kind of got it. So the first thing was, you might have heard about this. I actually saw this on Zach's channel. He was talking about this meteor that came down in Ohio, 17,000-pound meteor. I'm just making this crap up, I tell you. But comes down on St. Patrick's Day. So we've got something coming down, a meteor hitting the Earth on St. Patrick's Day. Ohio as well is the Eye of the Who. Just anagram that around. I think he was mentioning here that Ohio is the 17th state, and of course we're dealing with the number 17, which is to do with the temple, to do with the gateway, to do with Diana, to do with the metaphysical and the physical coming back into balance. Okay. Anyway, so this was interesting, right? 17 reference here. Okay, and then they also refer to it as a 7-ton meteor as well, which there's a little bit of difference between 17,000 pounds and 7 ton. Okay, so you know, it's just like they just make any old crap up for the numbers to work, right? Well, anyway, what is this thing referencing? Because when we talk about Superman and the Man of Steel, well, when Superman comes to Earth, the Three-Eye Atlas here, yeah, he comes to Earth and crashes down. Well, he crashes down in Kansas, but this is this whole thing.
What was that?
Oh, what was that? That was Superman. Okay. What was this? Was this Superman coming down? Was it Remington Steele, the Man of Steel? Okay, we'll get into some of the number jumps in a minute with Pierce Brosnan. But why I bring Pierce Brosnan up and St. Patrick's Day was there was another crazy thing, and actually I heard about this with Zach as well. I wonder if I got it up. I thought I had it up here. I don't have it up here. My wife told me about this dude this morning from Back to the Future who just died, and let's just listen to what he says.
Joey, let's make some wake-up juice.
Joey, let's make some wake-up juice. So this other story that I heard about as well. So this guy's just died. He died on the 15th of March. Okay, from Back to the Future 3. He's the barman. Okay, and they're gonna make him and Joey are gonna make some wake-up juice. Well, let's find Joey because this was the other story. Joe Kent resigned on the 17th of March. He took office the 31st of July, so it's all 713, 173 numerology. ELI connections. Joe Kent, okay, and this guy is called, well, let's find him up here actually, we'll just look at him. Matt Clark is the barman in Back to the Future, okay. Matt Clark, we've got Clark, and we've got Joe Kent, we've got Clark Kent, which is Superman's name, Clark Kent, okay, CK. Remember all this stuff we were talking about Charlie Kirk earlier on in the year? And note that his birth name is Cal L 73, okay, 73 numerology for L. Right, so you can see already that this is starting to turn into, it's starting to look like we've had some references for Superman here. Coincidentally as well, in, where's this other version of Superman up here? Clark Kent in Smallville, okay, notice that his name in Smallville is Clark Joseph Kent. I put this middle Joseph name in. Joey, I'm going to make some wake up juice here, Joey. Joe Kent, and again, where the hell was I at? Joe Kent, okay, Smallville. Come on. Right, we're going to look at his, he's got the 4/11/1980 birthday. We're going to look at this in a minute. Also, we're going to look at his wife. This is just, I mean, the connections here are just absolutely mental, really, when we get down to it. And also, we're going to look at Pierce Brosnan and his wife. A couple more things with Superman before we even get really into the numbers. Let me get a picture up so we can do this. As we've said before, with Superman, there's several things you can pick out of the logo. Number one is the S shape, and S is the 19th letter of the alphabet. Now remember that between Madonna and Pierce Brosnan's birthday is 19 days. Okay, that's important with this S reference with Superman. Okay, where was we at? Can't remember now. Now, also note that this I here makes this into a snake. You might have heard people do that decode, you know, talking about the snake that's right here as well. Now, what does St. Patrick do? What does St. Patrick do? He gets rid of all the snakes out of Ireland. Okay, so we have the snake reference, St. Patrick's Day, the 1919 there. We're already off to a pretty good start with this this whole thing. And the fact that, like, Pierce Brosnan played the role of Remington Steele, the Man of Steel, and it was quite a big, in America it was quite a big role for him. Okay, it was quite a big hit. So there's that as well. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, don't forget that Martin Parr Kent. Don't forget that she is Martha and he is Jonathan. So you can kind of get the Joe there again with that. Okay. What else do we have? What else do we have, Dan? So where are we going to really crack into this? Okay. I guess let's. Oh, this will come up in here, and we'll come back to Rocco Ritchie. Rocco Ritchie. Now, don't forget what we've got coming down is a big rock. Yeah, that's hurtling towards Earth. Rocco Ritchie. And Rocco, we will be talking about him in this decode as well, because he ties into this just absolutely crazy as well. And we're also going to be talking about Christopher Reeve as well. Okay, because he's Superman, and his birthday is going to come up in this as well. Okay, what else do we have in here that I wanted to just quickly mention before we really get cracking into it? A couple of things. Pierce Brosnan, his first wife who died. We're gonna look at some of this stuff with her. Now she is born 30 years to the day before Superman the movie comes out. Okay, Superman the movie, 15th of December 78. Okay, and she is, where the hell was we at with her? Notice the name as well, Harris. We were just talking about George Harrison, okay, in the last video as well. Anyway, 30 years prior to the release of the film, we're going to do some number jumps with her to do with her death as well. Then we also have Pierce Brosnan's second wife, who he's still married to, and she has the September the 25th birthday. Okay, which again is, she's actually 11 years after Christopher Reeve's birthday. Okay, so this is, you know, it's already looking pretty darn interesting. She's also a smith. Now if we go over to Joe Kent and we look at his wife Shannon, who actually died, okay, she was a smith. Okay, so there's a connection there with Smith, and also the name Shannon. Shannon is a very Irishy sounding name. Okay, so Shannon Smith. So this is again, it's pretty interesting. What else do we have here? What else? And Mary Kent, Martha Kent. So what we want to do is start doing some number jumps. I think we've already got quite a few good connections there. I'm trying to think if there was anything else with. There was one other thing. Matt as well. Notice that he's MC as well, like Madonna Ciccone. We've talked about the MC stuff quite a bit as well. Okay, so let's come through now and let's go on to, let's have a look here. Let's start with the number jumps. So the first number jump I'm going to show you is going to be insane. This is Joey's birthday through to 4/9 this year, the day that we've got for the Hoover Dam, 16800 days. So we've got Madonna's birthday numbers, 16th of August, showing up with this whole thing already. Now, this is actually going to be really important with Rocco Ritchie here in a little bit, but we'll just keep going through. Okay, what have we got here? So note that the day that Joey Kent went into office was ELI numbers. Notice that when he went out was ELI numbers as well, 173 stuff. Also 229. This also ties into Madonna. It ties into 922, which is the end of Virgo. Okay, moving into Libra. Okay, and also this 230 stuff we've had a bunch of as well. I'm not really going to go into it too much. And what was the other thing I want to say about this? Oh yeah, that 229 is also in a leap year. It ties in with Madonna's birthday, the 229th day of the year in a leap year. Okay, and obviously the 29 is our big white wedding number as well. So this is really important, the number 29 tying into L or Eli. Okay. Okay, we've done Matt. Okay. I don't actually have many number jumps for him. This is right. This is, so I might have to jump around a little bit here. This is Pierce Brosnan through to Christopher Reeve, 3-4 days, right, between their birthdays. Now just take a look at, let's see if I can find it. This is the Joey reference with Smallville. This is actually a release of, I believe, Smallville. Let me see if I can find it again. The release of Smallville, first appearance, 16th of October 2001. That is the release of Smallville. So a bit more of a direct Joey Kent reference through to Rocco Ritchie's birthday. We've got the opposite direction here, 432. Okay, so just bear that in mind. I've got another big Rocco Ritchie one in a minute, but that is we're the opposite way around there. Okay, for Pierce Brosnan to Superman. So we're just matching up numbers, you know. Just interesting stuff, you know. What else do I want to show you here? Let's go to this one. Okay, so while we're still on the topic of that, this is again Christopher Reeve, and this is now the real Joey Kent. Okay, 10061 days. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 prime. Okay, so the 234 in here with the prime number as well. Okay, so I thought that was just worth mentioning. This was something that really got me sort of thinking, oh, I really ought to investigate this a little bit further. That Madonna number jump and then this number jump. This is Shannon, okay, Joey's wife, her birthday, through to 317, okay, 15651. Now remember, it's not in the right order, but Pierce Brosnan is what am I say? His birthday is the 16th of May. Okay, so we have his numerology there in a palindromic format, which I thought was interesting. What was this one here? Don't think that one was interesting. Every once in a while I leave one in that's not what I wanted to do. Let's not worry about that. I don't think that was anything interesting. Oh yes, it was interesting. I'll tell you why this one's interesting. We've had this number pop up before as well. So this is Madonna through to Shannon. Let's just click this again and just check out this 7911 composite number, because we've had this number showed up I think in the last video for a number jump as well. So 791 shows up a bunch. Anyway, what's interesting about 791 numerology is that in here, let me show you something with Rocco Ritchie. Rocco Ritchie's birthday through to the release of Superman, this is the movie, 7910 days. Okay, now the reason why that's so interesting is because there's a reference to the Hoover Dam breaking in it and Golden Gate Bridge, yeah, and the use of a nuclear weapon to set off, you know, earthquakes. Anyway, 7910. Okay, now check this out. I think it's this one. Let's look at Madonna through to this Joey character. Okay, Joey Kent, 7910. You can get 7910, and for one of them you can actually tack on a day as well for this one, and you can get back to the 7911. So that was what was interesting about wherever we were just at. I can't remember where we were at. Where were we at, Dan? Come on. You're losing the plot, mate. It's this one. 9034. So just crazy, just the way these things fit together, yeah? Madonna to this guy that's just resigned, and then in the movie to Rocco Ritchie. I'll show you what else is interesting about Rocco Ritchie. we'll come to it in a minute, I'm sure. I've got another big interesting number jump with Rocco Ritchie. So that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah? Madonna through to her birthday. What else we got? This is Pierce Brosnan through to Shannon's death. I left this one in here because it's just my birthday numbers. So I thought, well, I'm going to leave that in because it's kind of interesting seeing as I'm doing the decode on it right now. What else have I got here? 49 to her birthday, so her death, sorry, Shannon's death, to 492640 days. Now, check out, this is what I was talking about in that comment I left. Pierce Brosnan through to St. Patrick's Day, just gone, 26604. So we had the 264 numerology showing up with her death through to the 49 date. Okay, I know it's, you know, some people say, well, that's really loose, but you know, we've got multiple matches going on here, so it's interesting that it ties together. You know what I mean? This number here, 222, a pretty important number. The only thing I want to say about this, I don't think there's anything interesting down the bottom here. Hang on. Not really. What's interesting about 222 is that I believe actually Superman the movie is 143 minutes long. Now, 143 is the combination of 55 and 88. Okay, our Back to the Future numbers. That goes into 143. Okay, and 143 plus 222 equals your full year. Okay, so 222 is a number that ties in with 143 for the full cycle of a year, and of course 143 is to do with the balance of the two towers, 55 and 88. Okay, you'll notice that like the Dam Busters raids took place in 1943. Okay, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, Superman the movie, I'm pretty sure was, yeah, 143 minutes long, at least on Wikipedia, that's what it says. Okay, anyway, where was we? So, that was that one. Okay, so I thought I'd leave that in there for the 222. This was to do with our 8 column, our number 8 column in the, let's go to it, I've got it circled. And what have we been dealing with? Okay, so this is the total for this column here. What have we been dealing with is the reset of Lucas numbers. And if we come across, if I was to put the cycle in before this, the last digit in the cycle is 8. 82 is the end and beginning, or 28 is the end and beginning of Lucas numbers. Okay, very super duper important. If we take the first, if we total up these numbers here as well for the start of Lucas numbers, these will total up to 28. Okay, so super duper important that. What else have I got? What else? What else, Dan? Come on, let's go back to this because I'm kind of getting a bit of a tangent here. This is Piers Brosnan's second wife's birthday through to I think the only thing that was interesting was actually that. Let's look at it though. Through to St. Patrick's Day. Hang on. Was there something with this? Oh yeah, this was interesting as well, right? So okay, so that number there, that amount of days doesn't look very interesting, but if you look at the composite number, it's 20268. Now, if we look at Madonna's birthday through to the death of Shannon, okay, it's 22068 days. Okay, so that tied in with, again, back in with Pierce Brosnan's second wife as well, on that particular date. Pretty random, I know, but also from 9/25, which is also Christopher Reeve's birthday. Did I just mention this? well, we'll come to another number jump in a minute, but it's 173 days. Yeah, this is the right order for Eli. When you flip that around, it makes Eli. So 925 and St. Patrick's Day, pretty important with those numbers, yeah. What else have we got in here, Dan? Come on. Blub, 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 blub. What was this? Oh, let me show you this as well. I got Clark Kent in here. 95. 148. Now, what's interesting about 148? Just talking about that 28-day thing there. 28 days before 9/11 is the 14th of August, and that is kind of encoded there with this stuff, yeah. So you convert this into 9/11 here. This is ground zero when the two towers went down, and this is an 11 here, and you reduce this down to a 9. Okay, so 9/11 when the towers went down, if you go 28 days back, is going to give you the 14th of August. Okay, and then what you're going to find is that 148 is also re-referenced in this number line by adding up certain groups of numbers in here. Okay, I can't be bothered to go through it right now, but I've got several decodes on it, and if somebody really needs to know it, I could probably go through it again. There's also another number jump set in here as well that does Christmas, interestingly enough, as well. So anyway, but I'm not doing that right now. Okay, the other thing, Cal-L 4-1, and you know when the clock stops, and 94. Okay, what else we got here? This was, now this, we're on to Pierce Brosnan's, we're back on to Cassandra Harris. Okay, let's see, 28th of December 91. Notice the 91 as well, the reflective nature of the 1991 there. Where was we at? Right here. Let's look at this number jump. 12, 28, 91 through to 49, and she just happens to be in this sort of palindromic 125, 521. It's an interesting looking number. Numbers for Christmas, which is pretty interesting as well. And also, let me just show you this, because some of you might not know this as well, is that if you get, let's get rid of this crud off of here a minute. When you do this like cross-referencing stuff in here, and you look at like a times table chart, you look at the row, so this is the 2, and then you look at the column, the 13. So 213 is referenced here, and it's going to come out at 521. Coincidentally, 521 are the numbers at the top of the very top of the dartboard. Okay, so this is pretty interesting, fairly interesting anyway, because again, because of the reference back to Christmas with it as well, and 213, and like I just said, actually in this whole thing here, you can actually go from 213. You can add up these numbers here. I think it's to, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's just these numbers, and it'll, anyway, whatever it is, I think it's up to, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just add these numbers up right here, and it'll come to 3. I want to say it comes to 315, and you add 315 onto there, and it will go take you to Christmas. I think that's it. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly, but I'm pretty sure you add on 315 days to 213, and it'll take you to Christmas Day, and that's what's in this lot here. Okay. Anyway, what is interesting is, again, the guy that just he just died, Matt Clark, on 315. Okay, so when you start seeing numbers that are popping up for Superman, you know, for this whole decode in the Lucas numbers here, it's pretty interesting. Anyway, the return of Pluto. What else do I want to show you here? Hang on. Let's go back to this. Got a couple more number jumps. This one was random, kind of. I left it in just because it was instead of a 259, it was a 256. That's the only reason why I left it in there. But this was again. I want to say that's her birthday. Let's go back to it. Cassandra's birthday there. That was her death date that we were just looking at in the last one. But this is her birthday, which is 30 years prior to the release of the film. I'm sorry about this. It's too difficult to keep track of all these tabs when they're all the same blooming colours and that. But that was just her birthday through to Shannon's death date. Okay, I just thought it was marginally interesting, and it was a big whole number. I probably could have dug around a bit more and found something to link in with that as well. It's the opposite side of the year to Christmas. What else have we got here? Pierce Brosnan to Superman to Christopher Reeve. Here with the 2-3 numerology showing up again, 233, and again when we clicked on it was 234. Remember, just got it in there to remind me of the 233. You can also do this, and then you can start doing this kind of stuff. 33 weeks, 3 days. It all looks interesting. When you start changing stuff around as well. This is crazy. This one. This is Madonna's birthday through to Matt Clark, the Wake Up Juice. Okay. His death is 8-11 months. Okay, which is Rocco Ritchie's birthday, and it's actually 2000, so it's just 00. So it's a pretty good reference to him. Okay, what else have we got? Okay, this was again. I thought while we were on the topic of, let me just show you something as well. With all the 17 references with the meteorite coming down, and also check out Superman's symbol with the diamond. Okay, the diamond shape. So the diamond shape again with Diana. I thought, well, we better just go from her birthday through and see, what 7-1 through to 317 was. Because they'll reference it so much with the whole thing. And the shape of his thing's a diamond, like Diana. 259 days. Okay, 25th of September numbers there again. Also 37 weeks, 8 months, 16 days, 816 with Madonna. So the L with Kal-El. Oh my goodness, just whatever, round in circles. What else to mention here? What's this one? Pierce Brosnan through to I think that's the premiere of the film. It was a 9339, which is interesting because Hoover Dam birthday numbers is 93, the 30th of September. So I thought that was interesting with the mirrors, the palindromic there with the mirrors, and I think that's about it. Oh, this is the last one. This is again that same date for the premiere of the film. Through to 49, and again that number jump there, boom, is 15300 composite. So again we've got Matt Clark's death date, the 15th of March in there, and 153 is the gateway. Yeah, we're talking about that gateway opening. Yeah, the Vesica Pisces number. This is the Vesica Pisces number. Okay, the gateway opening to be reborn. And so that was interesting that we had him with that number and the rebirth of Rocco there with the 8-11 months. What else we got? I think this is about it now. This is again, we're back to Sandra Harris and her Death date through to the film. 13 years, 13 days. Interesting with Madonna with the 13s showing up. What was this one? 69th square. So 69 squared. That is blooming crazy again. We can tie back into Marty McFly, the Royal Arch, all this stuff. And we've already done these two. The 710, Rocco through to the film, and Madonna through to Joey. Okay, Joey Kent. So that's that, guys. Interesting, isn't it? How this sort of, what you could say is, I mean, as far as I could tell, there was no direct Pierce Brosnan reference, but all this stuff just tied in with him, which I was kind of what I was thinking something was gonna happen like that, you know, especially with the Smith reference and the Shannon. I know that sounds very sort of, oh, there's tons of Smiths out there, and Shannon. Oh yeah, well, it might sound a bit Irish, but you know, but yeah, and her Smith, his latest wife is Smith. Oh dear. She's, you know, again, I don't think she's Irish actually. She's from California. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't think there was anything else to say. If you go through some of, I think one of his films, Pierce Brosnan. I don't know. I've got the films up here. Let's just click on it just to show you as well. Let's just go to him, Pierce Brosnan. Okay, let's just waz down and look at some of these names. Again, you know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know, there's some personal references in here, like hell's November Man. Just trying to think here, actually. Dear, oh dear. Well, I must have just gone. All right, here we are. The November Man. This is just like a personal reference for me. Surname. I feel like there's Charlie Swift, Fast Charlie, you know. I felt like here it is. There was a Kent reference. Kent Nelson, Black Adam. And again, without going into a bunch of my family details, right, with them surnames, but Nelson and Adam are very interesting with my Devereaux reference with surnames. But anyway, the Kent coming up there was pretty interesting, obviously, with Adam. And I could probably go through some of these films, and there's probably a ton of connections. And I think there was an ELI in here as well on one of these films. Maybe it was who knows? Yeah, there it is. The Sun. The Sun, and we've got an ELI reference. Okay, I'm leaving it there, right? I don't have anything else to say. A lot of, probably see like Death Train. That might be a good one to go back and look at again for old for Madonna. You know, there's probably something in it. Hang on a minute. Let's just look at let's look. Hang on a minute. We've got Christopher Lee in it. Lee L. Patrick Stewart as well. Release April the 14th, 93. I wonder if that's an interesting number jump through. But anyway, I might take a look at this film actually. I might see if I might be able to watch it as well. Death Train. Oh look, and 100 minutes long. Yeah, 100 minutes. Don't forget that on. Let's have a look here. Where am I going? April the 10th, 100. Oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there for now. thanks for watching. So yeah, that whole lot of stuff's about Superman basically. All them news stories which tied in with Rocco Ritchie, The Rock falling, and yeah, here's Brosnan of all people. Okay, thanks for watching. See you later.